The Earth is 1.41 billion years old. We have adapted and changed to what beautiful Mother Nature has provided us with. But now, we are tearing all of this apart with puns. This expository, informational, educational, suggestive, thought-provoking, unbiased, contradictory, documentarianistic production will explore puns and their everyday impact on our lives. Mrs. Lisa Thomas is a local school guidance officer, so we asked her how puns affect children. How often do students come to you with pun-related issues?
Often. No, wait. Really often. Yeah, really, really often. Yeah. Really, really, really often. Quite commonly, I find that students who have been the butt of puns often suffer from PRS. That's pun recall syndrome, where they just can't get rid of that out of their head. They just replay it over and over and over, and it really does inhibit their ability to concentrate in class and do well on exams. The one that has had the most effect on a young person I was working with is one where the student was in class in maths, and they had their rubber band guns confiscated from them because the teacher said it was a weapon of math disruption. After we spend some time unpacking the terrible syndrome that they suffer from, pun recall syndrome, I like to make them feel better and make sure that when they're ready to leave my room, they leave with a PRP. That's a pun recovery package, which consists of a whoopee cushion, a book of knock-knock jokes, a Monty Python DVD, and my favourite, the monkey. Makes everybody happy and really perks them up when they leave my room.
This next clip shows the real-world horrors that puns can cause on the human body. I would just like to advise any squeamish viewers to look away, as there is an old woman in this scene who does fall over.
It was a fine morning. I was enjoying a nice cuppa when my doorbell rang. I slowly made my way down the hallway, because I'm an old lady now, and not the stepping young 17-year-old boy I once was. I opened the door to find a strapping young lad with his hat on backwards. It was a fine conversation, until he began asking me about my refrigerator. He asked me if it was running. I told him that no, I turned it off to save power, you know. He seemed rather baffled, and said he was going to tell me to catch it. Eventually, I understood his antic tomfoolery. Before I knew it, I was out like a light.
It's attacks like these that have proven detrimental to the public safety, especially with the elderly and with the children. So, to prove this, we will now cross to a notable doctor of many talents. His name is Dr. Geriatrics. What is it like having to deal with not just emotionally, but also physically damaged patients on such a regular basis?
It's quite traumatic. Mainly there's a lot of emotional problems that people suffer, anxiety attacks, depression is a big one, so much so that some people have even sobbed. It's a broad spectrum of types of injuries. I've even had one case where a person developed a tic, like a body movement, and ended up with a slight shake of the head and went cross-eyed. There was a case where a fellow went camping and needed to chop firewood with his axe. Unfortunately, it was very wet, slippery conditions, and as he was on the pile of wood, he had a terrible accident. He slipped, and unfortunately the axe injured both his legs severely, to the point where we had to amputate both legs. And well, it's a very haunting. I've never forgotten this. When he awoke from the operation and realised that he'd lost his legs, he started yelling out, "I can't stand having no legs. I can't stand having no legs." And it was just terrible to listen to. It's haunted me actually as a doctor since then. But gradually, with modern technology and body parts, he's been walking it off. The first thing hospital staff do is do a heart scan, not skipping a beat. If the problem persists, we have developed a medication called Panadol, which seems to work very well. We also usually apply an IV drip, but sometimes, unfortunately, it's all in vain. Puns are a bigger problem than most people realise. In the medical profession, we're very worried about the spread of puns. We've even coined our own phrase, a pundemic is out there. It's everywhere.
During a recent exhibition, we interviewed a modern artist, and he gave us insight on his unique perspective in the world of puns.
Art, I feel, is a part of who I am after a traumatic experience that not many people know of when I was a child. I died. Through the emotional trauma of having died, I set it as my duty to make art that reflected not only that, but also how society is affected by things just as traumatic, but in other circumstances. I don't like to talk, per se. I prefer to let my art talk for me. Here is a piece that I did on puns. It represents the struggle between humanity and puns, as you can see from the colours. The azure blue of the spoon represents the cool and calm side of our being, whereas the angry red commercialist Coke can is angry. And I think puns are very bad for children, because these puns are subliminally brainwashing them, and it's wrong. This piece behind me, I feel it's not exactly representative of the bulk of my work. It's not very good, and quite frankly, I think it's a piece of shit.
It's evident that puns must be stopped. If we keep bombarding each other with this heavy artillery, humanity just simply won't last. You wouldn't let someone punch you, so why would you let someone punchline you?
Buy a hot dog.